It's time, everybody.
Red alert!
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Tom King. This is the 4K Skywatching podcast. It's August 15th, 2025. I am back after a week off for cataract surgery. I've talked about that for a few months of all the things that I had to do to get it done. I finally went under the knife and had that done. I'm happy to report it was a successful operation. I was apprehensive about getting this done. I've had LASIK surgery 2 years ago, and that worked too. But I ended up getting a cataract growing right over my left eye. So LASIK wouldn't have nothing to do with that. It wasn't their fault. Went to a specialist. He ended up, was a little bit apprehensive about getting this done because it's a 15-minute operation. And who the hell wants their eyes cut open? But I had to do it. Don't remember none of it. That's absolutely great. I only remember the part where you don't feel anything either. They put eye drops in with Novocaine or something. You won't feel anything. And they can arrange it so you won't remember anything. I just remember when the laser blew a circle in my eye. I lost vision. Everything in the room went white because I wanted to compare it to an alien abduction. And then I saw 14 orange spots. And then after that, I said, when are we going to do it? And they said, we're already done. And I took some selfies I don't remember. Yeah, it's still working. They put a polymer, some type of polymer replacement thing. I didn't even look up what all is involved here because I don't want to know. They put a polymer thing that's UV sensitive into my eye. And a couple of weeks from now, one of three adjustments are going to take place, and what they do is they're going to ask me where I focus far and close up, I guess, and then I guess they're going to take a laser and probably do the same thing LASIK did, melt your eyeball a little bit and shape it, and then you can go in 2 more times where they can do this shaping and adjustment and lock that eye in. And they said, when do you want to do the right eye? I said, only when it goes bad. There's no reason to pluck out this eye and do that to it too. So good on that. I was off a week. Spent some time playing video games, which I haven't done for about 9 months. So it was good to just get out of ufology for a bit and do something else. Do something kind of kick back. Welcome to the show. Hey, good to see you. Hopefully the audio's doing good. I did a check just for the show. Hey, Mr. BoobTube, how you doing? We had a storm blow through. There's another one in its way. The radar camera, I had that down for a couple weeks. That's back up in operation. At least the camera is. We're looking at South Mountain and the Estrella Mountain, and there is a storm coming in. We had one hell of a lot of storm go through last night. There's a capture of 3:40 in the morning. This woke us up. This is a freeze frame of a lot of lightning. The radar camera captured. And when I heard the booms, I was kind of wondering, you know, I'm a little bit pressing my luck, but I didn't lightning proof that radar pole. You know, I don't even know if I should have, because, well, it goes into the concrete if it were to get hit by lightning, and then it's got, you know, if you see the wire snake goes into the house with the camera controls, the radar and whatnot, so it would blow this fucking place to hell. I'd lose everything if I get hit by lightning. But hey, you know, can't live life in fear. So we're going to go over the latest UFO sightings. So I did a roundup of stuff. I actually have a video that my wife recorded. She has recorded her first UFO video, and it's not the best, but it's something. We're going to look at that. AARO put out some garbage. We'll get into the UFO news, which is it's getting a little bit slow this month, and we lost somebody. So that's kind of that's where the show's going to go tonight. So this is probably going to be about a 1 hour show. I hope you guys are watching television. There's some great stuff on television. Skinwalker Ranch, me and Dan have been watching that show. And Skinwalker Ranch hit their mother lode, so to speak. They got a piece of ceramic equipment out of that mesa that apparently has properties it shouldn't have. And it did some strange things under electron microscope. So if you haven't been watching Skinwalker Ranch, that's the only science-based type of show there is that does this type of stuff. I have a friend who works in the show, so it's it's cool. He doesn't tell me anything; he's all under NDA, but it's cool that it's going on. At least it's something. We have a billionaire investigating it. I would like to see now what they have pulled out of that mountain. To have a third party investigate it, have another group of scientists investigate this ceramic material, and then we have some real good science. And one of the things I noticed is they're wrecking, if there's a spaceship in there, let's say there's a spaceship that crashed in there thousands of years ago and it's covered with dirt, they're ruining the damn thing by drilling through it. And they kind of came to that conclusion too, is let's stop the drilling, right, because you're drilling through it. Get a fucking backhoe in there and start removing dirt. I mean, when Brandon Frugal does another high rise in Salt Lake City, they go down 3, 4, 5, 6 stories underground, and then they remove all that dirt. So maybe they should do that with Skinwalker Ranch. The new Alien show is out. It's pretty good if you're an Alien fan. There's also some other stuff out in the theaters. I haven't seen Weapons yet. Seen Fantastic Four, not bad. Seen the Superman movie, it's all right. I prefer Man of Steel. I like Henry Cavill a little better. But let's get straight into some of the media here. Okay, so Rhonda is over at her girlfriend's house, and they see a UFO. And I'm not there. They're just sitting out in the pool, and they see this object go by. And so my wife should know better. She filmed it in murder mode, straight up. So let's check this out.
Oh, it's freaking moving. Now it looks like it's on the jet stream part.
Oh, I see it over there. It's those clouds that are going across. They're very light.
No, it's just about to the top of that one. Oh, see it. Oh, it's freaking moving. Now it looks like it's on the jet stream part.
Okay, so there's something that she got just at the tail end of that. So what I had to do was, when I do a lot of these videos, I had to find something to lock down so I can get the camera shake out of it, make some sense. So I did about 5, 6 passes on the video, and then finally I found a portion of the triangle to lock down on the cloud. So when that happened, at the very end of it, there's something there. There's something.
See it. Oh, it's freaking moving. Now it looks like it's on the jet stream part.
Oh, I see it over there. It's those clouds that are going across. They're very light.
No, it's just about to the top of of that one.
I asked her why she stopped recording, and she said because she couldn't see it through the phone. So I'm thinking this happens a lot. Happens to me all the time when I'm using surveillance cameras. You lose track of it, and then later surveillance cameras don't stop recording. But when you play them back and then you go through it, you sometimes see where you lost it. So my advice is if you're filming UFO on a cell device, once you lose it, record another 20 seconds. Just keep filming in that same area for another 20 seconds, because later you're going to regret, one, you stopped filming, and two, you're going to regret you stopped filming. You're going to hope you filmed another 20 seconds so you can keep hunting for it. Because sometimes, right when you hit stop, that's when you locked in on it. Okay, so let's go to this one. I think you can see just a little bit of it at the end.
See it. Oh, it's freaking moving. Now it looks like it's on the jet
So this is
stream.
enhanced and
Oh, I
zoomed. There's
see it over
something
there. It's
going
those
through the
clouds
closet.
are going
It kind of
across the
flashes
very
on,
No, it's just about to the
and
top
then
of
it
the
stops,
of
and
that one.
it flashes. And
Ooh.
yeah, that's the best you can do. But we all start somewhere. And looking for the UFOs and whatnot, I haven't reported on them about the last month. I looked around the internet pretty good. Looked through the National UFO Reporting Center, which is the best place to look. If you want to look through MUFON, it costs quite a bit of money. And then there's that Enigma Labs app. That whole thing is garbage. You can't look through that on a PC. You have to use a phone. And seriously, who is going to use a phone to start looking through thousands of reports? You can't see a goddamn thing on a phone. She couldn't even see what she was recording on a goddamn $1,500 iPhone. How in the hell are you going to do UFO research looking through Enigma Labs on a phone? For fuck's sake. Put that shit on a PC. Anyway, that site sucks. Then there's UFO Stalker. I don't understand that site at all. Apparently, there's 21 people that work on this site. Who? Not to sound like an owl, but who? Who works on this site? How do people even know of that site? So that site is hard to do. The National UFO Reporting Center is the best site there is. It's free. It's open to the public. If you send your report in there, you can go back later and read your reports. You can't really do that with these other places. So moving on. Another thing that came up that was pretty big in the media was a slow motion dog video. Let's look at that. So in case you guys haven't seen this stuff, you'll see it here. I might have some videos you didn't. If you guys know videos you want me to cover, just email them to me and I'll look them up. True Seekers are real good about messaging me on Twitter. So this is a guy playing Frisbee with his dog. And something shoots over the top of them. This was even on, I think, News Nation. People said it looks like an arrow. I'll tell you what. I spent 0.0 amount of time on that. That's not even really worth investigating. The needle has went a lot farther in ufology than that video. Now, 40 years ago, that might have been something, but we don't need these frame-by-frame things anymore. We have real-time videos. Let's keep up with the times. All right, so okay. Couple videos came out of Texas. So we have a multi-camera sighting of two different cameras filming an object in Texas that has, I guess, a mothership, and there is an object going up to the mothership from two different locations. Let's check this one out. So you have that object there. Well, that's happening. I'll bring in the second video. Then you have another one. So they both got this. Interesting. So what do you guys think? I've seen videos like this in 20 years ago. These videos are pretty rare. A friend of mine, Chris Miller, he got a couple of these. This is when you're filming an object in the daytime, and an object peels off of it and leaves. We were talking that this was a UFO replicating itself back in the day. Other people said it was a balloon cluster, and they pull apart with the wind, and one of them eventually sometimes pulls loose. Okay, I can accept that. That happens. But what about when you have a cluster of whatever, and the object joins the cluster? That is just about impossible to get a bunch of balloons, and then some random balloon comes up that's lonely. It says, "Hey, buddy, you got room in that group for me? Yeah, fuck it, come over." And that doesn't happen, man. So when that happens, then you start thinking, hey, maybe you got a real UFO here. So let's look back at these drones again. So what's going on here is these are drones. What we are looking at is I'm thinking it's either a Walmart or an Amazon delivery drone. And yeah, I mean, there's, for some of these things, you got to go to the prosaic explanations if there is one. And in this case, we're seeing rollout of drones. We've been hearing about this for quite a long time, that drone delivery is coming, and it's here. It's coming. Over on the other side of town here, I can't see that far, but on the other side of that mountain, another 20 miles, and then over to the northeast is a town called Glendale. And over in Glendale, they are doing drone delivery. Now, I've seen a couple of these happen. With the Walmart one, they flew an fixed-wing aircraft, I guess. They might be VTOLs. And they flew over and simply dropped it. So that thing, when you're just dropping it, right? First of all, you better not have eggs in there or anything like that. It better not weigh very much, because you're going to break whatever's in there. And then two, you got to kind of estimate the drop in the wind, right? So that's kind of like World War II type bombing, right? Now, the one that happened over in Glendale made it on the local news. Now, with that one was a retractable one where they just have a line that comes down and the package goes down and they drop it off. But the drone is so powerful that the blow down from the fans blew the package into the guy's pool. So they're going to have to work this stuff out. I thought that when this eventually comes, people would and I guess I'm totally wrong here, they would get these like helicopter landing fold-out things, and they'd put them in their driveway, right? And that would be where people would drop this stuff. Like, here's where I want the package to be delivered. Now, my house, I don't have much room. I got a pool. It takes up like 80% of the backyard. And then I got another area with a garden and a radar pole, right? And I've never had a package stolen from here. But I don't know where the hell they would deliver them here. Fuck it. It's fine. I don't need that stuff. You can deliver your packages by car. I don't need anything that goddamn fast. I mean, I can see if you have a party and you need some beer, or people need their drugs or something, you're too inebriated to go get them. How you doing? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Good to see you back. I'm going to be at MUFON tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yeah, drone delivery is something that is going to affect Skywatching. It was delayed, and it is rolling out in the bigger cities. So this will be something that my camera systems will be picking up. UFODAP will be picking this stuff up. Eventually, it's not going to look like Coruscant from Star Wars yet with heavy sky traffic, but it will. Which it's like, how can we get in on that? It's Walmart, it's Amazon. Who else? Is Target going to get in on this? What other big box stores? Is Shields going to deliver, ammunition and stuff? What other companies have the money and clout to even start drone delivery? So Skywatching is getting ruined by all the Starlink satellites at night. And then we're going to have drones in the daytime. It's just, there's nothing we can do about it. UFOs are still going to be here. They're not going anywhere. They've been there for thousands and thousands of years. So that's just something that we're going to deal with. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have, Mr. Bubble, I know you're down in Tucson. Yeah, I'm going to save some of that lightning stuff. It's fun watching lightning because it's rare. In Arizona, well, at least in the valley it is. It is. Let's see. Yeah, we were supposed to have Jason Sands speaking at MUFON tomorrow, but he's not gonna, so he had to back out for some reason. So I think they're gonna just talk about the Phoenix Lights case, so I'll probably just go down there to see if I could learn anything brand new about it. Yeah, well, MUFON has changed. It's not MUFON was entirely eclipsed by Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo comes along and he single-handedly, one guy, moved the needle farther than the entire MUFON group did collectively over 5 decades. That's gotta hurt. Oh shit! It's an organization, one dude outdid him, outdid everybody. But hey, that's what happens when you collect information after the fact. And they put all of it behind a paywall now. Yeah, speaking of Lou opened up a bar. He's got a bar in Wyoming called Bombshells. So that opened up. And man, did Twitter burn him. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with those people? The guy's a veteran. He put out a book. I think he wrote it himself. It reads how he talks. Pretty well done. He's the guy who picked the gimbal and the Tic Tac video, or the Go Fast, the Tic Tac and the gimbal video. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but he could have did what AARO did and put out shit videos, but he didn't. That guy did stuff he didn't have to do, and he still gets crapped on. He fucked up with the irrigation photo. Everyone does. He fucked up. He admitted he fucked up. Let's move on. I don't believe in canceling people. I don't believe because one mistake and you're done. We write you off. We all make mistakes. We all do. We should learn from them, pick up what we know, and move forward. So Lou has a bar. He doesn't look like he drinks anymore though. But man, that guy's built. I think you were the one who told me, I was reading your comment about some orbs, and I got a text from Terry Hall about some orbs. Man, you guys should be sending in some footage. I'd like to see what you guys, hey Dave, maybe. Yeah, I know. That's what I want to see, how you guys got to do a report on shit you didn't investigate. I didn't investigate Roswell. Because I don't even think my dad was born. But I don't go talking about Roswell and Roswell. I defer to the people who do, those investigators, whoever did it. Yeah, let's not beat up on MUFON too bad. I mean, MUFON, at least it's something. It's a place for people to hang out. I mean, it's an antiquated type of thing, kind of like Contact in the Desert. There's no reason to have UFO conferences anymore, because every single thing those people in Contact in the Desert or any of these type of things do, they say on a podcast. They don't hold out stuff and then wait to tell you in person. If you're paying to see a speaker there, you can see everything for free on the podcast or watch it a week later on another podcast. The only reason people go to the Contact in the Desert is podcasters need someone to interview, so they can just go out there, hang outside, smooth, and go, hey, can you sit down for an hour? I'll interview you for my podcast. That's what it's become. I might go to interview people for the podcast. That's about all they're good for. But let's get back to some more media. Okay, now This one's for you, Gobstop. You call these things metapods. So that I named this thing the pod video. Let's check this one out. This is a paramotor video. So this guy's in one of those crazy paramotors. Oh, it plays again. Man, that's a really interesting video. I mean, it's dark. It looks large. It flew by. And I'm like, is this another one of those flying humanoid type of videos? It's about the altitude. It's going about the speed. So I dug into that. So let's look at some more video processing on this. First thing I did is let's lock this video down and take out the camera movement. That's kind of my go-to process for a lot of this stuff. If there's any handheld movement at all, we got to remove it the best we can. Which reminds me, if you are videotaping a UFO, and some of you will be, because you people who watch this type of podcast are hardcore Skywatcher type people, a couple things. When you're taping it, it might not be your first UFO, it won't be your last. Record it and think about, sort of in the back of your mind, post-analysis, post-processing. Try and get a reference in there if it's possible. If it's all possible, turn your phone in landscape mode. But if you can't, at least try and get a reference in so you have an object. Try and keep that reference in position, because we might use that reference later to dial that camera and lock it in on that solid object or whatever, if it's tree, rock, whatever building, and so on. Try not to move the object out of frame. So if the object is in your camera frame, try not to let it hit the left side, right side, because if you do, then we have to start the stabilization process over again because it went off the screen. Try not to zoom out and then zoom in. I do, guilty as charged. I do that a lot, but that's kind of to show, hey, here's the wide angle, here's the situation we're at. Now let me zoom in. Sometimes that works and sometimes that pays off real good, and you can still do the stabilization from that. The problem here is you lose the damn UFO sometimes, because when you zoom back in, it's like, oh shit, where is it? I've lost many do that. So try not, that's instinct to do that. Try not to do it. Just try and just film it the best you can. Now, if you end up getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes, you got a plenty. So then you can kind of zoom out and show, here's some other witnesses, here's the location. But, holy shit. Thank you very much for that super chat. Things like this really keep me going, because people have no idea how much blood and treasure I've stuck into this as just a person like you guys. A lot of money that I could be using for retirement is here, used for the community. So all this helps go back to fund what the hell I'm doing. So thank you very much. And you also are supporting the channel. Supporting the channel is $3 a month. It's not a lot of money. You won't even sneeze and miss that, but thank you. Now, let's go in and let's look at the zoom from the paramotor. I love when this happens. I love when this happens. This is cropped and zoomed, the same paramotor video. Wow, look at that resolution. Did you guys see that? That is absolutely 100% identified. We are looking at, this is a half inflated balloon. It's probably red. I didn't even get into color correction. Inside of that is a white area. Inside of it, that's heart-shaped. Inside of the white area is a red heart. You can see the nipple hanging down from where they inflated it. And it's tumbling sideways. So, at least with this one, we know that the paramotor guy flew by a balloon. It did look like it was our size, human size, but obviously it's probably just a little balloon out of like the grocery stores, or could have been shot at Valentine's Day. I did do a search to try and find a match, an exact match for that balloon, but couldn't find an exact one. But heart-shaped type balloons are out there. As a tip, a rule for myself, I don't skywatch 5-6 days before Valentine's Day, and I don't skywatch about a week and a half afterwards, because unless you want target practice, because freaking red love balloons all over the sky. But okay, so that video, I think everyone can agree, is identified as a balloon that flew by the guy. I'm not sure if this video is how old it is, where it was shown. I came across it recently. So it's good when we can identify objects like this and show the tools that we need to identify them. So that's interesting. Okay, so let's go into whatever the hell this thing is. All right. I just call this the green thing.
We are here looking
And
at
this is another one
a
from
random
Texas.
thing in the sky that has been here for what, like 30 minutes now? Just up there blinking. Never seen it before. It's not moving. We're thinking maybe a drone, but it hasn't moved. It's just sat there.
So weird.
It's been moving, but like not, I mean, not anywhere like actually like going somewhere.
Like it would move and then it would come back to the same spot. It would make like
So weird. It's just this bright green thing. Yes, I got it. Oh, what is that? This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like. Bacteria or something.
that's so gross.
Oh wow, you got it.
I
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
Can I get why?
Very creepy.
I don't know. That's one weird video. I'll tell you this. That video don't belong in ufology. I've never heard of a damn sighting that even remotely sounds like this. I'm not sure if this is another video. Maybe it's a shorter video of it. But this is the part I was interested in.
I got it. Oh, what is that? This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like. Bacteria or something.
That's so gross.
Oh wow, you got it.
So if I freeze frame this does not fit in to object descriptions. This is not a tic-tac, cylinder, hockey puck, triangle, boomerang, green hearts, purple horseshoes, or any of the lucky UFO charms.
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
Can I get why?
Very creepy.
So let's take that and let's move into the next
I got it.
image processing of this.
What
Take out
is
as much
that?
camera movement as possible and take a look at what this thing is.
It's got tentacles.
This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like. Bacteria or
This
something.
is when I did this part.
That's so gross.
Oh wow, you got it.
Wait, hold on. Can I get it?
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
When I saw that part, that's when I noped out on this thing and said, no. Not only does the imagery doesn't belong, there's just something wrong with this whole sighting. Mike's too far down. I don't even think this is real. I don't think that video is real at all. I think that's fake. I think the entire video was made. Several reasons. One, that doesn't fit into ufology. That looks like it was possibly created. And let me show you what I mean. The strobing effect of the person says it's sitting there for a half hour in the sky. Okay. Sometimes sightings happen for a while. You only have one iPhone out of all those people? When? Where the girl said, I'm shooting it through a telescope? The mom didn't get out a phone? Right? You don't have a Ring camera video of it coming down the street? None of your neighbors got any videos? Nobody? No. I didn't think so. The flashing part. All right? The UFOs turn on and off. They pulsate and stuff like that. Strobing, not too often. The color, now they're suspects. Now let me tell you what I think this is. You see this? And you add this, and then you get this, right? So what I think they did was they probably shot this through the front door. They took a strobing laser and they hooked it up like this. And once that laser starts strobing, or whatever they have, right? Look at that. See, that's why, probably gonna make a little more sense here. Let's rewind this video a bit.
I got it. Oh, what is that?
Ew.
Now, do you see where the light is, and then there's a tip, or there's like a cap there. All right, so we can flip back and forth here. This is kind of why there's a cap at the end, and then it kind of goes like, it kind of tailors off. I think they made this up. If you can get 1 million views on a video and they got something monetized, maybe they'll get a couple $1,000 out of it. Maybe they sucker the UFO community. The UFO community has been full of hoaxes and phonies for God knows what reason for a very, very long time. Now, this is just something laying around the house. They took off this pen, right? You put a flashlight in front of this, then you take your phone, and you point this out the window, and this is going to reflect in the window. And then you start flashing it. Then you put one of those little things in front of it. I don't know. Yeah, hell, that's a shitty video. So I think they faked it. I don't have proof they did, but the proof's not on me. You know, where else in ufology is a video anywhere like that? That looks like something somebody created. And there's a few factors in fake viral videos. Keep them under a minute long so they keep flipping in rotation on tic-tac, you know. Don't get into too many details. Was there a ground investigation of this? Did they report it to MUFON? Was there a MUFON investigator that went over there? Anything? If it's just some submitted stuff that making its way around the internet, I don't trust stuff like that. I mean, I'm a believer that UFOs are absolutely real. There's another intelligence on this planet. That just ain't one of them. I don't think so. There's too much crap floating around in the sea of ufology. So you gotta take a look at some of this stuff and just not be gullible. You can even see like even the plastic lines, like even the plastic lines are in there. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's damn close. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It has to be, they're going to sucker some of the people. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Woo Dog Rider. So yeah, that's Billy Meyer looked like he took original photos, and then he looked like at some point he started faking them. I mean, even that guy has stuff no one can really figure out how one-armed guy did it, and they started obviously faking stuff. Another guy, Michael Hawkins from Texas, he took some real UFO photos, but it wasn't good enough, and then he started faking them. How do I know? Because he told me on the phone. He told me I'm trying to win $500 from UFO magazine. And he did. He told me, it's in the other room. He took this toy from 1977, a Star Wars escape pod that C-3PO and R2-D2 ejected down into the planet on A New Hope. I had that thing as a kid, so I recognized it. He hung that up by a balloon in the distance. He took a photo, sent it to UFO magazine. They sent him $500, and then he got addicted to the easy money. Why do construction work? Why work at Walmart when you can get UFO magazines? You can win contests and make money. And the guy was a believer, but he lost his way. It happens, man. It happens. And then some other things that just to show you these type of devices like that are all over the place. They're just dirt cheap everywhere. It's not hard to find something like that, and then hold it in front of a glass, look out the window, and all of a sudden you got yourself pretty much that type of object. Another one, these LED pens and cheap. This stuff is you got to be a little more clever than to pull a fast one on me. Because the field is full. I mean, now we have generative AI, and that's making it even worse. I think we actually have maybe somewhere between 3 and 5 years, and then it'll be pointless even skywatching because the drones are everywhere. There's Starlink everywhere, so daytime, nighttime's kind of screwed up. Then we have AI, which will be dirt cheap. Right now, if you want to use like VO3, it's about $300 a month for Google subscription for whatever the tokens that it charges or whatever they charge you for that. Eventually, that'll get down into the hands of everybody. Everybody will have that stuff. Everybody will be able to make whatever they want. It'll just be a hellscape. Like Twitter, like I was saying, Lou Elizondo just got crapped on for no reason just because he opened a restaurant. I mean, that's how bad ufology's gotten. Linda Thompson was on Twitter for a long time, had 10 or 20,000 followers, and she got tired of the shit and quit. People impersonating people. She quit, I think, the same day Rick Doty did. Rick Doty was, and Rick Doty is not, he's not really a friend of ufology. He's a guy who did some harm quite a few years ago, but he's a nice guy, but he's also trained to be a nice guy. He was a disinformation specialist from the Office of Air Force Intelligence. And he quit Twitter. He was just harassed left and right. They were making AI stuff to do that. There's a software I have that you can change your voice to someone else's voice. It's pretty cool for music. Like if you're into music, let's just not listen to Taylor Swift, but let's say you're a fan of Ozzy. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Ozzy just passed. Let's say you want Ozzy to sing Taylor Swift songs. Well, you could train Ozzy's voice with AI. It doesn't take before you had to be a super nerd, comb your hair down like Spock and all that shit. Now about anybody can do this. So you can take Ozzy's voice and put it right over Taylor Swift songs and then create remixes and stuff. Stuff like that's interesting. It's cool. But when you start like getting people to say stuff they didn't do, when you start sending stuff around to people's employers, you start doxing people, you start having people doing criminal type stuff they didn't do, this is really, really going to get out of hand in the future. I really think so. And then the other thing that's going to get out of hand is the Jesse Michaels out there. Look at how many people have bought their way into ufology because they're bored. They got money. They're bored. So now they're the top ufologists, right? I mean, in the past, ufology was manageable. Back throughout all of ufology until about 10 years ago, it was easy to keep up on what's going on. There were maybe 50 ufologists that were doing stuff. You had the Stanton Friedmans, you had the Rich Sanders, you had the George Knapp, he's been around a long time. You had the Keyholes, you had the Hyneks. You had a handful of cases. Ufology moved really, really slow. It was so slow and boring that everybody could keep up with everything. Now it's totally out of hand. There's 10,000 podcasters. A lot of them don't do any research at all. No first-hand research. They don't go out and investigate cases. They don't. I mean, at least join MUFON for fuck's sake. They don't even do that. They do podcasts of another person's podcast. Somewhere there'll be a podcaster doing a podcast of this podcast. And then you have the rich people coming in, and they basically can just say, "Hey, overnight I started with 10,000 subscribers, and next month I had 50,000." That's like the case of Jesse Michaels and those type of people. They're just showing up left and right. And then you have celebrities, right? You have Rob Lowe driving around with his kids. You have Ozzy's kid going around doing ufology. For fuck's sake, go back to acting, Rob Lowe. You don't see me trying to get your job in St. Elmo's Fire Part 2. So you stay the fuck out of ufology. I'll stay the fuck out of acting and in your lane. Just stay in your damn lane. Everybody's getting into this. It's cool because it's really popular and everybody's getting in it, but maybe it's all for the wrong reasons. A guy I really respect, Martin Willis, was talking about this. He was on Spaced Out Radio, another great podcast. Those two podcasts are great. And to watch those guys is brilliant. Dave Scott and Martin Willis. And Martin was talking about it's hard to keep up. And Martin's been around forever. And I know exactly what he's talking about. Martin was talking about he was at Contact in the Desert and almost every person he ran into was a podcaster. We need researchers, man. It's fine if you're going to podcast, research too. Do like Chris Leto. Chris Leto got in this. He's doing podcasts. And he's doing research. He goes out. People give him super chat money. That super chat money goes directly into ufology, not paying for Corvette payments and shit like that. Martin Willis too. When you see those hearings and you see Grush testifying, behind him was Knapp and Corbell, and behind them was Martin Willis, right? That's the shit. That's the shit right there. We need a lot more of that. Let's get back into some more captures here. All right, now let's get on to some better stuff. Instead of some of this debunker type stuff. So I'm going to bring up National UFO Reporting Center. Let's see. Just a second. I had to do a reboot. All right. All right. Now this is a great place to do research. If you're not too familiar with it, they redid their website not too long ago. They have a map, and they take reports from everywhere, right? Everywhere. So it's a worldwide site, even though a lot of them come from the United States. And the stuff, if you want to look through their Tier 1 reports. Now, Tier 1 reports might be hard to read on the screen, but the Tier 1 reports are the reports that they pulled out of all this new data. So if you're doing research, look at the Tier 1 reports first. These are going to be the best ones that they have in their data set that are new. So check that out. And then you can also look by different shape. You can look by state, country, date. The only thing that I kind of don't like is in the past, I used to look at Arizona and it would show everything in Arizona. So I'd scroll way the fuck down to 1997 and you would see about 150 reports from the Phoenix Lights. And you could just get some coffee and read through these reports. Some of them one of them was mine, I think. Now that's pretty hard because it's paginated. So anyway, so let me get back to what I wanted to do here. All right, so here's a couple of 2-3 reports here from the National UFO Reporting Center. This was a sighting that was over Richmond, Virginia. They saw 4 or 5 of these discs, and this is over. I don't have my reading glasses on here, but this is over Richmond, West Virginia, nuclear site. All right. There was some video that accompanied this too, but the video's not too great because whatever the objects. I mean, I don't know if these are planes, 40 miles out coming in, and the videos isn't long enough to make that determination. All right. It's also pretty hard to save these videos off the site to analyze them, but there's a method. There's a plugin you can get to Firefox that'll download these because they have disabled right-click save. No, you can't save the video. That's why people write plugins. So that's interesting. And then there's a couple of 4 dots of light here. Now there was also another nuke site that this happened in another location. So let's move on to this sighting here. So I say the best here for last. Let me get my glasses on so I can read this a bit. So they're watching some fireworks here, and this is in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, and this is what they saw, and I have no idea what this is. There's a large something, and I don't know what that thing is. It looks like it's rotating. I have no idea what that is. Let's see here. Did a brief study on that. So this is I pulled off their site. Now they say all their videos are copyrighted, but they're actually not. The copyright is going to be with the person.
We didn't want to make you feel like you had to come out just because we came and invaded your backyard.
That's a weird one. Now this last one here. Okay, this is the weirdest one. Let's bring this up. A couple videos here. This was shot by a pilot, and this was shot over. I can't even pronounce it. Guilherme Minas Gerais, Brazil. And what they're doing, angle of elevation, 45 degrees. They're flying, and what they're seeing is a whole bunch of orbs here. city lights below, and we see a lot of these objects left and right that appear to be leaving Earth's atmosphere. So that's one piece of media. I think these other clips here were just real quick, but the main one was that clip right there. Now I've seen this before in a NASA video. There was a NASA video that this doesn't make sense either. It's almost like a rip in the space-time continuum or something. They're just filming the Earth. It's boring, and all of a sudden, like 1,000 objects leave Earth's atmosphere and start flying into space, and then it's over. Anybody here remember that video? It was shot quite a while ago. I just now it triggered the memory just watching that. I've seen that before. So let's look at this again. I pulled this off. I took a look at this. So let's see. Here's that pilot video again. This is either one or two things. Let's go look at this one more time. So we have a number of these objects that are going in the sky, which we all know it's very expensive to leave the planet. To put a pound up into space is very expensive, and it takes a lot of skill and technology. And we're probably looking at least about 24 objects doing this right here. So what in the hell are we looking at? I can only come up with two things here. One, like I said, we have 2 or 3 dozen objects leaving Earth's atmosphere, ET. Or we have an optical illusion of Starlink satellites that are being lit up as they go into orbit. Because remember, this plane is up, what, about 40,000 feet? So it's up about 6 miles. And these satellites are up 20, 30 miles above the plane, right? So they're way above it. So what I'm thinking could be an optical illusion like what I ran into in Sedona. In Sedona, and I also saw this too. I was watching Jesse Michaels interview Ross Coulthard, and Ross said he went to Sedona and saw these helicopters coming out of the ground. No, there's no helicopters coming out of the ground. I was there too, and I saw the same thing. And in case you missed that episode a couple back, here it is. Here's the gist of it. And so much for my thing queued up here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And do this. All right. So this is looking at Sedona with like a 3-gen night vision recording device, Luna Optics. We're seeing a lot, no helicopters. We're seeing aircraft that are coming in from Denver area that are heading in, and they're doing a slow descent into Las Vegas airport. But we are seeing a lot of satellites coming up, left and right, satellite. So this is Starlink type stuff going up left and right. This is an optical illusion that you can't see with the naked eye. You need some very high-powered 3rd-gen type PSVs, 7s or 14s, or Luna Optics to even see stuff like this. Is this what the pilot is seeing? Is he seeing these type of objects into an optical illusion that appears that UFOs are leaving the planet Earth, but they're really Starlink chains? And it all depends on time. And I don't know, I'm not a pilot, right? This is a hypothesis that if this happens when the sun is going down and it's illuminating these things just right, is it possible that he is just briefly seeing some Starlink satellites? Now, if he is, he should be seeing this on a regular basis then. It should not be a one-off. And not only him, there should be other pilots seeing this too. I'm just saying that's a possibility. Maybe. Other than that, I have no idea. Now, when I thought of this, let's rewatch his video, because I was thinking, well, now that only works if they come over the line of the planet. If they come over the horizon. If they come up before the horizon, right? Are they coming up like SDS-48? Remember that video where the thing did a 135-degree angle and turned into space when somebody was shooting something at it? That popped up before the line of the horizon of Earth's orbit. So when you watch the pilot video again, all of them are over the horizon. None of them are really coming up from where those city lights are. So this may be something new that is going to enter the UFO space. Is pilots seeing stuff like this, recording stuff like this? Now, I'm not sure if that's sped up. There's another issue here. The Sedona video I showed you was sped up by 25 speed. So that was not real time. That goes slow. That goes slow. So when you speed it up, then you can see what's going on. That video from the pilot does look a little bit speeded up, but I can't tell. Can't tell. Shit. Sorry, you need to read the thing. Read the chat a little more. Sorry, goddamn audio was down. Fuck that up. So, let's reiterate here. What were we looking at? An optical illusion with the pilot's video, and it was similar to a Starlink launch. I don't know. It's a possibility. If this doesn't happen again, then maybe he saw some UFOs. If this happens and it comes up more, then it's a new type of thing where pilots are seeing these Starlink launches when the sun's lighting them up. That's possible. I don't know. We don't know. I'm not Mick West. I don't have Dunning-Kruger. I know what my limitations are, and I stay in my own damn lane, which is skywatching and UFO video analysis and things like that. I don't claim I'm an expert on things that I have no idea of. I've never piloted a 747, so I never sat in that seat, so I don't know what is normal and what is not normal to see. But the guy reported it, right? And he sent it to the National UFO Reporting Center, so there's that. So at least people are normalizing reporting it without worrying that I'm going to lose my whole career over this. Yeah, you just gotta be yourself. That's all you can do. Is you know. Yeah, I gotta quit adjusting this damn sound. I'm just worried about this computer's a little loud, so I don't like hearing the hum go through. Yeah, you get a refund. yeah, I'll have to refund you. Yeah, the production quality. Hey, every now and then you get a shit show, and you're gonna get it. Yeah, well, I'll get a demerit for that. Yeah, well, that is it for the video that I found. There has not been a hell of a lot of video out there. You got the sun going down. Looks like we're not going to get any rain here tonight. Let's move on to what's going on next on the agenda here. AARO put out some garbage. Yes. So we have the guy from AARO goes on podcasts. He doesn't go on. He goes on like Green Street's podcast. Not. He doesn't go on a podcast where somebody's going to ask him hardball questions. So he goes on like Stephen Greenstreet's podcast, and he says we have videos of triangles the size of Priuses. Right? Okay. So what did they do? They put out garbage videos on their website. Garbage videos. What the fuck? Don't blue ball us like that, man. If you say you have triangle videos, then put the fucking triangle videos up. We already know what balloons look like. And then they put out a formation of birds over Africa. And I'm wondering, is that because Skywatcher had a leak of some objects that could have been birds in formation, so then they leaked some birds in formation in Thermo too? You guys think of that? Because the Skywatcher video from a couple of weeks ago is kind of like that AARO video they put out with a line of objects that were migratory geese. So AARO's putting out shit video. But that's okay. You keep putting out that shit video because the pressure is going to go on you guys. You can't keep doing that. Now, you go to AARO's website and you start looking, and they, I think they put about 3 or 4 of them out. But now, over time, finally, they have like 12 videos there, including the gimbal, the go fast, and all that, the Aguadillo video. So they're accumulating. So they got about a dozen links there. Now, a year or two ago, I said that the government most likely has thousands of these videos. Thousands. I mean, so many of them, they could create a Netflix type of streaming thing, UFO flicks. And they could just show, we could be watching this stuff for months. So they already got a dozen or so. They collect around 600 of these a year. So about twice a day, some type of imagery comes in from a sensor, whether it's a thermal sensor or some pilotless drone or whatever. They collect this stuff. So this stuff's been accumulated. That's every year, right? 2 videos a day. You start doing the math. We're looking at 10 or 20,000 videos. We're looking at films from the 50s and 60s, 8mm stuff that if it hasn't biodegraded is sitting around. If they digitized it, a lot of stuff. So they can only put out these shit videos for too long until public pressure gets on them to up the ante. There's still some really, really dumb people that we have in the United States who still think UFOs aren't real. We're talking the guerrilla skeptics, the Mick West type people. The people are still going, well, gee, I don't know if UFOs are real. And they're still living like in the past. It's like, that was fucking 5 years ago, man. Everybody has turned a page. And especially on this podcast, we know that UFOs are real. There's some type of aliens or some intelligence behind it. That's where we're at here. That's where this audience is at. We're well past are UFOs real. Right now we're in the area where we're trying to figure out which categories there are of UFOs, the different types. There could be different creatures that have specific types. Like maybe the Tic Tac is operated by a certain species, and a different species has the triangles, a different species has cigars, and so on. That's kind of the direction where ufology is moving now. And the Congress people seem to move with this. They don't move with the Mick West type people. Even the Mikes, the 3 Mikes in Congress who shut down the UAP amendment, they're beyond Mick West too. They're still not, are UFOs real? They're wondering whether the shit's demonic or not, right? So we're way past, are UFOs real? So AARO can't just keep putting out garbage videos like this. At least they're putting out videos. So this is a huge, kind of a huge moment in a way. And I've said this before, but we really don't know how good we have it. I mean, it seems like those gimbal videos just came out just a few years ago, and shit, that's, I mean, we're looking at 8 years ago or so when that stuff dropped. And if we had like any videos where the government was releasing them on a website, that's a big fucking deal, right? It is. Now they're releasing them, and we're so jaded, we're saying that ain't good enough. We want to see those fucking bodies. We want to see the good stuff. Quit hiding the good stuff. So we do have it good. We do. I mean, I never thought I'd live long enough to even get to this point where the government, one, admits there's UFOs, and then they're posting videos of it. And then what's the next step here? Because there's a line they came up with, and then they stopped. UFOs are real, but, and it's like, okay, but they won't mention yet there's an intelligence behind it, because once they do, they pop that SETI balloon of those stupid dumbasses listening to radio static from 30 fucking universes over, looking for life from dead planets from billions of years ago. That's a lost cause. We can cut funding to that shit, start funding Skywatching laboratories or something like that, right? So that's done. So once So we're kind of dragging the government with us. We got them to the point where they admit UFOs are real. Now, what's the next step? That there's an intelligence here, right? So when they admit that we're not alone, finally, not alone with what? Is it hostile? Is it neutral? I think we all agree it's probably neutral because they could have wiped us out if they wanted to. So we're dragging them up to that line. I think within whatever lifetime I got left, we're going to get them even farther, that somebody's going to admit that there's some type of other intelligence out there. Now, there's about 2 steps before this would blow up and pretty far. One of them is admitting that there's another intelligence. And then the really big one is admitting that they've retrieved this, that they've, I mean, it's one thing to say we have thousands of videos, right? It's another thing to say we have the hardware, we have the ships, we have the biologics, we have the dead bodies, we have multiple species. That's a whole nother thing. And then the other thing that the government lied, the prior governments that are, dead senators, presidents, and whatnot, they all lied and whatnot. So there's going to have to be a change of our government and the way it runs. I mean, who the hell is going to want to go back to work if we find out, hey, there's no reason at all to pay for electricity. We can get free energy from these things. Another thing is we might be able to move throughout the solar system, for starters, without rocket combustible fuels, right? Maybe we can do something about the planet heating up. There's a lot of things that would have to change kind of rapidly. So that leads us kind of into the UFO news here. Paulina Luna went on Joe Rogan, and it's becoming kind of obvious. I mean, to me, it's been for a while that these people are doing political theater, that they're asking the wrong people the wrong questions and they're wasting our time. Like, who would give a shit about Paulina Luna if she didn't ask about UFOs? Nobody. Eric Burlinson, Tim Burchett. Now, these people, if they came out and said, hey, I have some politics here and some farming bills, no one's ever, they're going to say, Tim who? Don't give a shit. But you start mentioning UFOs, which is very popular, all of a sudden, here comes Ross Coulthart. Ding dong. I'd like to talk. Here comes News Nation. Here comes Joe Rogan. Here comes thousands of UFO podcasters wanting you. All of a sudden, you got importance, right? So these people who are nobodies, not household names, start mentioning UFOs. Like, look at the guy from the Breakfast Club, Rob, I just talked about. He starts talking about UFOs. Now all of a sudden people want to talk to you. But they don't want to talk about that other boring shit. We've already done that, right? They want to know about aliens. We want to expand our thought, our consciousness and everything. You start talking about aliens, you get popular. And that's what's going on with these Congress people. No one gives a shit about them. So I think they're farming clout and whatnot. All these people are freshmen. None of these people are doing that. You don't see people who've been in Congress 7 terms bringing up UFOs aside from Sherman, right? Everyone bringing this stuff up doing the podcast circuit are freshman people. They haven't been paid off by Lockheed or Northrop or Raytheon yet. They haven't got those checks. So they need clout. So they start talking UFOs, and all of a sudden they become household names. People that don't even know about them go, yeah, there's another congressperson talking about UFOs. And then they talk about them until they run out of gas and they kind of beat the shit into the ground. And then they realize, okay, I've kind of done that. And then they move on. Tim Burchett, he's kind of like checked out, doesn't talk about it much. Then we have Paulina Luna, she's doing it. Now we have Eric Burlinson. Nobody knew who Eric was like 3 months ago. So now it's like, they're just rotating, right? It's all a waste of time. They all say, well, we got to get Grush in the skiff. It doesn't matter. You don't need Grush in the skiff. Why do you need to talk to these whistleblowers? The stuff that Lou knows is limited. The stuff Grush knows isn't firsthand, right? Why don't they just go to the DNI girl, Tulsa Gabby, whatever the fuck her name is, and Pete Hegsworth, right? He runs the Pentagon. She runs the DNI. These people are read in. They were read in back in February. They know. All she has to do is call these people and say, hey, I want to know. I want to see more than these photographs and whatnot. And you know what they'll be told? You're not on the bigot list. I don't even think they are. I don't even think. There was recently, about 2 months ago, they said Pete Hegsworth did a secret trip over to Area 51. Remember that? How come Paulina Luna isn't talking to him? How come she doesn't ask President Trump to sign an executive order and get this shit over with? So when she goes on, and today she got on Twitter and started calling out Lou Elizondo, and Lou Elizondo called her ass back out. And it got into a bunch of embarrassing, stupid stuff. It didn't need to be done. This is just theater. It's just them making the appearance of them doing something, but they need to really go out and talk to the people who actually have the ability to do it. Now, neither Pete Hegsworth or Gabby, whatever, Tulsi, they can't do anything. They don't have the power, but they could get in a skiff with Paulina and talk about it, but I don't think she's got the clearances for them to tell them. And think about this. This is what I was thinking about. These people get read in, Pete and the DNI woman. They get read in, and then they go, oh my God, these aliens are fucking real? And then they got to go out, and then they go back on whatever Fox News, News Nation, whatever shows they go on, and they start talking about ridiculous shit like tariffs or the budget. Who gives a shit about that stuff if there's aliens? So think about that. Are these people really, really good actors? Because I think I would be, I got kidnapped 2 times by these aliens. Now I remember. And I had post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Now, if I got to go in and read this thick fucking book of all the secrets, I would not come out. I'd come out. You know that guy Kash Patel? He kind of looks like he's freaked out. I'd look like that. I'd look freaked the fuck out. Now, Kash Patel looks freaked out, and that's over the Epstein stuff. But I'd be all freaked out. And these people come out like, oh yeah, let's get back to petty politics. Petty politics is nothing compared to the aliens, and we're not alone, and all the tech that goes with it, and the cover-up. So until they do that, it's all theater. Like here's once the ball really gets moving, this is what we'll see. If you really want to see what disclosure would look like, it's going to be these people in Congress subpoenaing hostile witnesses to come in. They would be subpoenaing Grush. They would subpoena Lou. They would subpoena Eric Davis. They would subpoena Jack Valet, Hal Puthoff, these type of people. And Jack Valet and Hal Puthoff, these people are going to their grave with what they know. They are not going to come out with dead man switches. They're not going to have videotapes that say, I secretly worked in the program and I couldn't tell about it because I'd go to prison. But now that I'm dead. I thought about that. I was telling Rhonda, should I record one of those videos that say, if you're watching this video, that means I've died. And then start talking. Who the fuck does that? Not these people. Lou Elizondo said the boomers failed us. The boomers will take this to their grave. But then you get people like Grush, you get people like Matt Brown, these younger generation, they come in and go, you know what? This ain't right. And I'm going to do something about it. I'm not taking this to my grave. I'm going to smack the beehive here. So when real disclosure starts happening, you will see people like this get subpoenaed. You will see people like Thomas Mason, the person who runs Los Alamos Labs, get subpoenaed, right? Because all of this recovered UFO technology at some point gets shipped to that lab, and they are tasked to reverse engineer it. Lawrence Livermore Labs, the guy in charge of that, James S. Peary. When you see that name subpoenaed, when you start seeing scientists subpoenaed, when you start seeing the Department of Energy, Chris Wright, that guy, the Department of Energy is on top of the umbrella with these other things. And then there's the Department, the National Nuclear Secrecy Security Agency. That's an administration. That's another one. That's the NNSA. The whole nother government agency people don't even know about. They probably do security for this stuff. When we start seeing these people subpoenaed and saying, you get your ass down here in front of Congress and you tell, we heard that you're working. These would be first-hand people, not people who were told a thing. These are people directly in charge of this. Let's start naming names. Let's start pressuring these Congress people. You start subpoenaing these people at these labs and say, have you ever handled material that looked like it wasn't on the periodic element of charts? Have you ever handled material that looks like it could have came from another dimension, another world? Have you ever handled something that just can't be explainable? And we'll talk about that in the skip. Until you start seeing these type of names and that type of traction, we're watching basically just actors theater with Congress people. They're just pretending they're turning over rocks. Well, gee, we don't know. We need third-hand witnesses. They can go directly to the president, or they could start subpoenaing these people in front of that run these labs. It's just they're spinning their wheels. That's it. So I see right through that bullshit. Now, to wrap this up, I want to do this at the end. There's somebody missing here. For those of you who've been around podcasts and been in this podcast, a person named Renee Cruz has passed on. I noticed this a few weeks ago. Renee was a person who everyone respected. I never heard any bad words about this person. This person was a moderator on this podcast, a moderator at Spaced Out Radio, a moderator on many podcasts. And I started thinking, damn, did I do something to piss Renee off? And then I started going around some other podcasts and learned that, where I could run into him and find out he's not there anymore. Well, I remember there's nothing but fond memories of Renee. This person knew the dialogue in tons of videos that I had shot, word by word. This person could recite videos I shot the way I can recite the words out of the movie Aliens or the words out of Star Wars movies. This person knew ufology. They liked heavy metal. They moved here from the Philippines. Lived in San Francisco. I think they were in a hospital for quite a long time. They mentioned that he had an abduction experience where he had broken bones. Out of that, I had no idea he was sick or ill, and I don't think anybody did that I know of. I didn't hear anything about that. It makes me kind of upset that Renee's not around anymore, because it's just kind of just a punch to the stomach. Didn't expect it. I'm sure a lot of you people out there were friends with Renee. It just sucks. This is going to happen to all of us. And most of us are going to be forgotten. No one's going to remember us in 50 or 100 years. So, Jose Renee Gregorio Cruz was 58 years old, from San Francisco, passed away Thursday, May 29th, of 2025, and this person will sadly be missed by myself and many other people. So someday, Renee, I'll run into you on the other side of this, and hopefully there's beers in heaven. So I didn't want to start the show off on a note like that. I wanted to end it on that, but we can celebrate the life of Renee Cruz and the positive impact that this person had on people. And I do care. I do give a shit about you guys. I'm not a sociopath. I do care about you people. You people matter. We all matter to each other. Ufology has a way of bringing out the worst of people, but it can also bring out the best of each other. So that just sucks. But hey, if the person was in pain, they're no longer in any pain anymore. The ones without belly buttons do. The aliens that have male and female genders obviously have sex, unless they're, the Greys apparently have no belly buttons, so there would be biological creations somehow. The Greys, that would be pretty freaky for those. Now next week, yes, that person, isn't that one from Hawaii? I'm trying to remember Narcab. That I don't know. That I don't know. I never did look into that. I need to look into that one. But yeah, next week I am flying. Monday I'm flying to Salt Lake City. I will be gone on business. I'm going to be back Thursday evening. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a podcast next Friday because I don't have any time to put anything together. I'm going to be away all week doing business. I might do a live Skywatch next Friday night and just run the cameras and shit and do some UFO dap. We'll see. Probably gonna do something, but I do know what the next podcast is gonna be about. But I have to edit some more stuff together. So it's gonna be on a story I've covered kind of in the past. I want to revisit because we're in 4K technology. I'm going to take some of that stuff and blow it up. Another thing I did is I got this box out of my closet behind me. This box full of height goodies. So these are all my height tapes. These have cassette tapes. These have old Art Bell shows. I've been wanting to go through these again. I think I went through them all before, but when I did, I didn't have the tech I have now. Like, I have tech now that can take all the audio buzzing out of something. So you hear that kind of that buzzing sound. I got some Art Bell shows where I can totally eliminate that. So I might remaster some of that stuff. Oh, wait, see. What do you think about an aircraft have top quality cameras for recording hazardous? I don't know. You know what's weird is Airbuses and all those planes don't have video cameras in them. They should have video cameras in the nose, you would think, so people could watch. It's kind of... Now, maybe Japan has some airplanes like that, but we really don't have modern aircraft that we like in the United States. We have those Supermaxes, and I might be flying on one of those. You know those ones nobody wants to fly on from Boeing because they crash? I still don't think they have good air, tech in those. Yes, they do have a lot of good stuff. They've also stripped that place has also went to this channel and stripped my stuff, watermarked it, and then asked for money. And I'm like, dude, you are fucking taking everything that I post on here. So there's some videos that I've taken off here, and I redid them and watermarked them and put them back up. Because if you put anything online, watermark it, because if you don't, if Eyes on Cinema doesn't take it, somebody else will. And then they'll watermark it, and then they might copyright strike you on your own video. That's something to watch out for, because if you don't have 1,000 subscribers on your channel, your YouTube channel, you do not have access to the copyright tools that YouTube unlocks when you get 1,000 subs. So a bigger channel can come to a small channel, take all your stuff, put it on their channel, and you'll have no idea your content was lifted by a large channel because you don't have those copyright tools that pop up that say, hey, so-and-so took your video. Those people do that quite a bit. But yeah, it's amazing. They have Eyes on Cinema has 200,000 subscribers from reposts. They don't really have their own stuff. They just repost other people's stuff. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. The Air Force and the CIA were created because of right after the Roswell crash, and then they are the two agencies covering this up. I'm convinced that we have to get rid of the CIA, or we're going to have a cover-up. We can't have disclosure and the CIA at the same time, because of what the CIA did to Kennedy, and God knows every other freaking bad thing that happened. They usually have their hands somewhere. We need to just rip that organization apart, like JFK wanted to do, restructure it within some other organization, and get the rogue out. There's just a rogue organization. We've seen them from running drugs and Iran-Contra and all kinds of things. They're running the UFO cover-up. I mean, who did Jake work for? Who does Northrop work for? It all goes back to the CIA. And I even think the NSA, this is my own personal thing, I don't have any proof. I think the NSA is mainly covered to look out for aliens that are living on the planet. They are here to say, well, our job is to listen for foreign signal intelligence and things like that. Yeah. Foreign humans. People that are on the planet that look like us but aren't us. I think they're probably I think that's their secret mission, is to monitor and find out who the hell's infiltrated this planet. That, because there's a lot of people from Bob Dean that said the scariest thing wasn't the Greys to the military. It was that there was a group of people that looked just like us that'll pass for humans, and they could be walking around in the Pentagon and we wouldn't know. And that scares the fuck out of these people in the Pentagon, because they don't know if the person sitting next to them is really human or not. I mean, you could be born from human parents, but where did you come from, right? When they abduct you, and they could abduct you, and they did this to me, and they said, you volunteered for this, right? You signed up for this. You don't remember because we made you forget. Well, here, remember this? Here's all your stuff you had before this life. Here's your quarters in the ship. Here's all your little junk you have laying around in your room. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember all that shit. Okay, now we'll put you back and you forget about most of that. Who knows? When we're alive, we don't have any memories of what happened before. It seems to be just the way it is. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Didn't have a lot of... I wish we had better video, but, you go to your 4K Skywatching podcast with the videos you have, not the videos you wish you had. So I'm going to start getting the gear back up and running. I took a break from it to let my eye heal. I was telling Rob G that, I can pull a UFO out of the sky with this gear. And what I mean by that is I have so much stuff collecting that if I turn it all on and I start monitoring it and then start going through the UFODAP folders, which there's a lot, somewhere in those folders are UFOs. And I can pull them out. That's what I mean. They're in the folders. I can pull out lightning. I can pull out aircraft. I can pull out stuff. I can pull out UFOs too. They're mixed in all that stuff. So that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching. I got a little bit of new thing I want to run here. I want to run some of the supporters here. So I want to thank you people for... I got a lightning video that's going to be the outro video here. I want to thank Gobstop, Cheeky Bastard, Truth Seeker, shoulda, coulda, woulda been, could have been, new supporter here on the channel. Thanks very much for that super chat. That is very much appreciated. And God, we had Dan AZ Motherload on here. I need to have you on the podcast. I got to come over to your house and fix your UFO DAP. Oh, I've got a few more comments. Skiff flu. Yeah, I went over that Terry. It's theater. It's a bunch of shit. Crop circles. A couple of guys came out and said they're, I don't know, that's kind of a mixed bag. I'm defaulting to man-made. But then there's ice circles. There's other things. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that lane. I'm a Skywatcher guy. I'm going to go hang out at MUFON tomorrow for a few hours, see what's going on. Dave, if you're down there, run into me. Say hello. Yeah. Maybe Renee's up there hanging out with Ozzy right now. Dan Fogarty. I'm more of a metal guy, but then again, I switch around. I listen to everything except country music. All right, so I'll probably be back next Friday. I think I'm just going to be doing a live Skywatch, and then putting together the material I'm going to put together. I'm doing a 4K transfer of some guys' stuff. So let me roll the credits and then roll the lightning. Yeah, I always forget to mention, if you guys like this type of shit, hit that fucking subscribe button and that motherfucking like button.